Today we are going to do a tool called empowerment. Now, most people use the word empowerment. People think they empower people, they empower organizations. What is empowerment? What is empowerment? Now, most people would say empowerment is the enabling and allowing people to make decisions and take actions. That would be a reasonable definition of empowerment. Now, would those actions have to be the same as I, as the superior, as the manager, would have done? Now, most people would say, no, it doesn't have to be the same. I should tell you a little story here. I talk to CEOs a lot. I talk to lots and lots of CEOs, and I often ask CEOs, what is empowerment? And they often say, allowing and enabling people to make decisions and take actions. And I ask them, does it have to be the same as you would have done? And a very typical response I get from them is this, oh no, it doesn't have to be. No, they have to make mistakes and learn from them. I'm sure you heard that expression. Think about that a little bit. Do you see the arrogance in that statement? When they say they're going to make mistakes and learn from them. The arrogance. I mean, what are they assuming in that statement? They're assuming that if that person were to do something different from what they themselves as CEO would have done, then that different approach must be wrong, and that from that mistake that person should learn, assuming that what they would have done would have been right. You see the arrogance there? Are CEOs always right? I mean, I'll give them credit. They're probably more knowledgeable, more skilled, more experienced, maybe more have education, but they're probably more often right than another person might be, but not 100%. So when the CEO says, oh no, we should let them make mistakes and learn from them, there is an arrogance there. That, by the way, is exactly what keeps empowerment from happening. Empowerment is not only to let people make decisions and take actions, but recognize that the actions they take, when they are different from your intuition, it might well be that they are right and your intuition is wrong. So let me give you a great way to measure empowerment in your organization, to measure whether your organization is empowered. Ask yourself this very simple question. I walk into an organization, if I want to figure out if they're empowered, I ask the employees the following question. I say, can you name decisions made in the recent past where the person making the decision chose to go one way, knowing fully well that it was counter to the intuition of their superiors? Can you name decisions made in the recent past where the subordinate chose to go one way, knowing fully well that it was counter to the intuition of their superiors? Now, that is an empowered organization. I'm going to stop for a minute and allow you, if you're working with other people, to write down, I suggest each of you write down such decisions that might have been made where it was publicly known that the boss wanted to go that way, but the subordinate said that's the way to go, and the subordinate went that way. The boss was okay with it. Write down examples of that in your organization, because those are real examples of empowerment. I'll give you a minute to do that. So those examples might have given you some insight into how allowing people to go with their intuition, even though it is counter to the intuition of the superior, is actually very empowering, powerful. To illustrate that, I'm going to give you an example. It's a story that happened to me. It involves a guy by the name of J. Wilcox. To tell you how deeply buried J. Wilcox was in the organization, let me tell you, J. Wilcox was the logistics manager, reporting to Mike Kubro, the procurement director, reporting to Doug Bonds, the VP of manufacturing, reporting to me, the CEO. Shows you how deep down in the organization J. Wilcox was. We had a product that a customer wanted, pretty important customer, and a very high priced product. Customer wanted 50 units of this high priced product. Unfortunately, we could not build the product. We were missing a diode, a high impedance diode that we needed for this product. This diode was manufactured by a company in Cincinnati, in Cleveland, and that's the only company that made it. We got it from them, and they are not making it. They don't have any in stock, and they are not making it right now. We can get 50 units of those diodes, and therefore we can build 50 units of our high price product. Our customer is very unhappy. The customer badly needs it. Very important customer, calling me constantly, asking me when they can get it. We are calling the vendor. We are putting pressure on the vendor to make it. The vendor finally says, okay, I'll make 50 units. I'll make it and I'll ship it. I'll make it tomorrow. I'll ship it tomorrow overnight. We call the customer. We tell them it's coming. We got the product already. As soon as the shipment comes in, we put the diodes in, close up the product. We will ship it out. We call the customer and tell them it's coming. Great. The next day, Portland, Oregon, West Coast time, 3 p.m., J. Wilcox gets a call from his supplier in Cleveland. Supplier says, manufactured the product, 50 units, shipped it, but they shipped it ground. It's on a train bound to Chicago. You are J. Wilcox. What are you going to do? You know, it's a tough question. I mean, this saga has been going on for 3-4 weeks. Our customer has been calling us. I've been asking our VP of manufacturing what's going on. When can we get this? J. Wilcox has been calling the supplier. So when we finally found out that they made a mistake and shipped it ground, it was devastating. Now, I didn't actually know about this. J. Wilcox got the news. It was 3 p.m. Portland time. J. Wilcox called his UPS guy. It was being shipped UPS. He called his UPS guy, and they brainstormed. And they got this crazy idea, by the way. They got this crazy idea that they could fly to Chicago. There was a 4 p.m. flight to Chicago, and that they could find the train. They actually didn't know which train it was going to be on, but they could figure out which train. They said, let's stop all trains coming from Cleveland. And by the way, they didn't know what car it's going to be in. They were going to rummage through the cars. And by the way, they didn't know what the box looked like. They had a label for the box, a tracking number, but other than that, they didn't know what the box looked like. They got this crazy idea. They'll go to Chicago, stop all trains, rummage through cars, try to find this box. Now, let's say J. Wilcox walked up 4 flights of stairs up to my office and said, boss, I want to go to Chicago. I want to take a flight to Chicago. Jay, do you know what train it's on? No, boss, I don't know what train it's on, but I'm going to stop all the trains. Jay, do you know what car? No, I don't know what car, boss, but I'm going to look through all the cars. Do you know what the box looks like, Jay? No, I don't know what the box looks like, boss, but I'm going to find this box. What do you think I would have said to this guy? You know what I would have said to him? I would have said, Jay, you know, I applaud your efforts. Your heart, it's in the right place. But your mind, it's taken a leave of absence. You know, it's a crazy idea. You don't even know what the box looks like. And who's going to let you stop all the trains and hold them? That's what I would have said. But Jay didn't come up 4 flights of stairs and ask me. Instead, he and the UPS guy got on the 4 o'clock flight to Chicago. They flew to Chicago, landed at 10 p.m., went to the railroad yard, found that there are 3 trains coming in from Cleveland arriving at midnight, which is about the time they would have expected the trains to show up. So 3 trains around midnight. They found that one of the 3 trains had no UPS shipment pickup in Cleveland. So there were 2 trains left to rummage through. They stopped both of those 2 trains. They went from car to car to car, rummaging through each car, finally found the box, by 3 a.m. They kept the trains held for 3 hours. They found the box at 3 a.m., got on a flight from Chicago to Portland at 6 a.m., arrived in Portland at 10 a.m., put those diodes into those units, the boxes got closed up, we shipped it to that customer that day. Tell me, folks, who kept on that day, who kept who from making a mistake? Did Balaji keep Jay from making a mistake, or did Jay keep Balaji from making a mistake? You see, had he climbed up those 4 flights of stairs and come to my office and asked me, my inclination would have been, Jay, this is a crazy idea. It ain't going to work. No point in trying. But no, Jay did. But you know what, even better, let me ask you this question. What do you think Jay was telling himself on the flight, on his outbound flight from Portland to Chicago at 4 p.m. that day? As he's flying to Chicago without getting my permission, or anybody's permission, as he's flying to Chicago, sitting in the airplane seat, what do you think Jay is saying to himself? I bet Jay is saying to himself, I am not coming back without that box. Whatever happens, I'm finding that box. Do you know what power that gives you? Do you know the power that it gives you as an individual when you have that attitude? I ain't coming back without that box. That power. You know what? I venture to posit that had Jay walked up those 4 flights of stairs, come to my office and asked me, and had I had the wisdom to say, go Jay, go out to Chicago, find the box, I bet he would then not have found the box, because he wouldn't have had that power. He wouldn't be sitting on that airplane seat saying, I ain't coming back without that box. You see, that empowerment where he said, I'm going to go, I'm going to get this box, that gives him power that nobody could have given him. That's the beauty of empowerment. Empowerment, when you empower people and say, do whatever you think is right, they get power that you could never have delegated, you could never have created. Empowerment is not just about letting people make decisions and take actions, but more importantly, it's about letting them do so when it is counter to the intuition of their superiors. Not because they should learn from those mistakes, no, but because they will keep the big boss from making the mistakes. Consider how empowered your organization is. There is tremendous power in empowerment.